Sweden, one of the most liberal and progressive countries, even by European standards, their national elections produced a very close result, with the ruling party, Social Democrats, gaining 144 seats in the 349-seat Riksdag, their parliament. The centre-right alliance 142 seats, so a lot of negotiation and backstage wrangling might well be required to form a new national government there. What is more disturbing and perhaps interesting from a headline-grabbing standpoint is that the Sweden Democrats, identitarian nationalist movement, founded very much in the mould of neo-Nazism, they got 63 seats, which is more than 17% of the vote, almost 1 in 5. And turnout was pretty high, I understand, more than 84%, Al Jazeera English is reporting. This SD party want the Swedes out of the EU and a halt to immigration. Neither of the main Swedish political blocs want to be seen talking to the SD, but clearly they do have influence. 1 in 5 people voting for them, and more than 60 parliamentarians now. This result, it's worth pointing out how well the far right has done this time around. It isn't a big surprise. It's not. This is Sweden's first general election since the 2015 migrant crisis, which has clearly affected Europe significantly. Sweden alone took in more than 160,000 refugees. Politicians, agitators, reactionaries from other European countries like, for instance, Austria and Hungary, have used this migrant refugee crisis to their advantage. People who want to set communities against each other for their own political or personal gain, they are quick to exploit the anxiety and perhaps the feelings of powerlessness that arise during times of crisis. And where you have a solid base of pre-existing bigotry, xenophobia, that's the foundation on which movements like the Sweden Democrats can build and prosper. I heard a reporter talking pre-election about the psychological effects of the last few years and the rise of the far right in Sweden. Sweden rightly sees itself as a very progressive country. The rise of the far right and a more hostile attitude to immigration coming from a significant percentage of the population might well be a blow to the Swedish sense of identity, which is bound up in the modern era with social democracy, the welfare state, an outward-looking, pro-European, liberal, international standard. Yeah, so this is a kick in the bollocks for them. But it's not just Sweden, it's continent-wide. Reactionaries making gains in Germany, in Austria, in Denmark, in Italy. To name but a few, I could name a few others. Crises, financial crisis, migrant crisis, dare I say an identity crisis. Plus all this anti-establishment backlash. Yeah. Add this with fears surrounding globalization and chuck in a couple of conspiracy theories perhaps. All this feeds the flames. How far will the fire go?